now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty, former Lion Joik Bell, and the golden voice of Neil Rule. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. D-Mac, Darren McCarty, right shotgun with me here in the studio. And he is back. He's tanned. He's toned. He's rested. He's back in the house from Aruba. He is Joik Bell. JB,
what up,
what's popping?
Oh, man, great time. It was a great time. You know, beautiful weather. 84, 85 degrees every day. Beautiful weather, white sand. You know what's funny about Aruba? They promote it as like a sub. I didn't know this. I did like a little tour, and they promote it as like a subtropical island. I'm like, subtropical? Is it tropical? It's not. But what happens is, it's really a desert island. But they have like a part of the island that's tropical. And so I went on like a little, like an AUV?
ATV?
Yeah, ATV.
I've been to Aruba. I've been on that ATV. The one side of the island is all
desert.
like desolate, the bad
Rocky,
weather, all that stuff, and then the
cactus and all. Yeah,
that's such a beautiful. That was one of my favorite places to go.
I definitely would go back though. I would definitely go back. It's beautiful, great service, great people. Yeah, good time.
Was it busy?
It actually was, because this is like the type of, I guess this is the time of year to go, because it's so warm and the weather is great. But, it's still within the hurricane season, but they haven't been hit with a hurricane in decades. So.
Now, I got to ask, right, what was the COVID mask, what
Yeah, so it's similar to
that
here.
island?
So it's a little bit more strict than here. It's just, if you're in a public place, like in the hotel lobby area, wear your mask. If you're outside, you don't have to wear it. The restaurants, wear your mask to your table, then you can take it off, kind of similar to how we used to be here. But yeah, it was safe. It was busy, and there was a lot of people around. We did the snorkeling, beautiful.
It's fun.
It was fun. The water was a little choppy, so I was holding on to the rope the whole time, just kind of sticking my face in the water. But it was a good time, man. It was a good time.
Yeah, good to have you back in the house. Got a big time show lined up for you today. And, what was it? Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. So, yes, there was multiple Monday Night Football games. I don't know who can keep track. The point of the story was, I didn't watch, and we'll get into that. And you know why. You know why I didn't watch. You guys both know why I didn't watch.
Yeah, because it was the Bears and the Vikings.
It was that, number one. And number two, I'm not watching Nick Mullins play quarterback. And you know what? My heart does break for Browns fans, because we probably all have some Browns fans, like in our circle of friends, just with Cleveland being so close.
We wish we were the Browns. On the precipice or whatever, and knocking on the door, and everything sort of, from their coach having COVID twice, being to all their players, to the quarterback, to different things like that. Yeah, it stinks to be them, but they're still alive.
But in the most Lions-esque way, the biggest game of their season comes down to Nick Mullins being the quarterback. That's not real.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not real. And it goes back to the discussion we had.
Well, it is real. It's not supposed to be real.
Well, yeah, that's my thing.
Reality.
It is the reality. But, Joik, that goes back to it for me. The biggest game of their season, and that's what they were reduced to, playing on Tuesday with a third string. That's not real. That's not real competition. It's not real, Joik.
It is real competition. It is real.
You know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're trying to say.
But I get that you got to play.
We'll allude to what you talked about last week. The NFL needs to make it. They need to pick something. Either cancel the game, but they can't cancel the game because why? It's gonna affect their bottom line, right? And then on top of that, they talk about player safety. They pull these guys out, and I think we just had a record with 47 guys tested positive or was put on the COVID list. Was that yesterday? And so all these things are happening, and what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do?
Isn't it weird how the different machines operate, right?
Differently.
Where the big 747, 767 plane NFL just motors along, doesn't care what product they throw on the field, who it affects, whatever.
That's
it is.
my problem with
And
it.
here's the thing, and then you look at the little putter jet NHL, right? Cancel it. Let's just push everything, postpone everything for a week, put it off. I mean, I was looking at the game schedule supposed to be played because playoff week coming into it, you'd always, in the NHL looking into it, I know we'd always play on like the 23rd, and then you'd have the 24th, 25th, and, you know, we usually play 26th. So you look forward to it because there's a lot of hockey, sort of stuff like that. But to me, it goes to show you where the money is out there, right? Because when you're not dealing in the billions like you are at the NFL, where they don't care, they got to keep that money moving, keep everything rolling, and it doesn't seem like they even care, Neil. That's the whole thing. There's no compassion for it's just let's get through this, get it done, and on to the next one.
And cash the broadcast checks, and that's fine. Like, just come out and say that then.
That's the whole thing, right?
They
just
can't
be
come out and say that.
transparent about it.
They can't come out and say that. Come on, guys.
Well, they
No,
could.
I know,
Come on,
I know
guys.
they can't, Joik. But hey, I can sit
They
here
could.
on my
I
high
could
horse.
say, can you believe they said that?
But listen, we can sit here and say there's no competition. But you look at that game, they lost that game on a last second field goal. So he didn't do as bad as we thought he was going to do.
Yeah, but they did muster up, 14 points?
Yeah, they mustered up. They
14 points. I mean,
They mustered it up.
And AC said it very well in our YouTube chat thread. You can get involved, too, on our YouTube chat thread. Fire off those comments in real time. We get to some of them, try to read as many of them as we can. Our social media handles are down on the bottom of the screen. Also, any way you want to get interactive with the show, certainly we will get your thoughts out there. AC says it was a snooze fest Monday Night Football, and that's where it is for me, Joik.
Yeah.
Because when Kirk Cousins plays, I can watch the first 12 minutes of the game and know which Kirk Cousins we have. And it's the Kirk Cousins that can beat any team in the league, and there's the Kirk Cousins that can lose to any team in the league. You parlay that with the Bears and Matt Nagy being coach. I'm not interested. I'm not watching it.
There is a story of a tale, and some of you kids out there might be too young, but for the other audience, it's called Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? That is Kirk Cousins in the NFL. How can you be so good one game, so bad? Then at least they're right, Neil. At least as a football fan, I guess, you know, because he's consistent out of the gate. You never see him really make that comeback. If he's bad all game, then he's usually bad all game. Is that like, because that's
what you call it, a streaky player? What you call a streaky?
I don't know.
No, I don't know, because usually momentum off of a good game, or if making, like, he can be streaky in a game and stuff like that. But if he's on and hitting Jefferson, like, you can't be Jamar Jefferson and set the records and make the catches that he has without having a guy to get you the ball. But it's when he's not getting him the ball. And like, for example, there's an interception yesterday. I don't know if you saw this or not, where Kirk Cousins threw it into the middle of the secondary. There wasn't a Viking. I think Jefferson fell down or whatever, but literally in 15 yards. There's three. He threw it right to the Chicago guy. So I don't know why that works or whatever. Joink, I guess I would ask you, as a running back, do you have a sense? Because you played behind Stafford, but you also played behind and took handoffs from a lot of different guys. If they were on or off, are quarterbacks like that?
Do you know that in the first quarter when you guys line up and everything like that?
No. You never go into a game with that type of mindset.
No, I'm saying when you the first drive of the game, where you're like, man, he's not sharp today.
100% every game.
No, because yes, you can say he's not sharp today. No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say, okay, he probably missed a pass here and there, but we have like that short-term memory. Like, you know that. Like, we go, okay, we're fine, we'll go on to the next, okay. And then, like, I'm the guy I'm never going to be the person to I guess I will be the person to kind of approach a teammate like, come on, we need you to pick it up a little bit, but I've never done that. I usually speak through the way I play, and like my teammates can see the fight in me, the way I play, and then that inspires them. Then they'll play a little bit harder. And some days it's just not your days. Like, it's not an effort thing. It's just like we might not just be on.
I know, but is there a guy? Because, like, it was easy for me because Drapes would always yell at me. And you know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it was, right? You know, like, that's the whole thing, the accountability and stuff like that. I just wonder in football, because, like, we were talking about Chris Osgood, right? And I'm not going back to the reason that he should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm going to save that for Terry. But the fact is, if he let a goal in early, he had a short memory, right? You're never worried about that bothering him mentally, or it was going to affect him the rest of the game. So I wonder if you could see that in different quarterbacks as we can as fans. You know what I mean? Your guy in warm-up or something like this where the touch ain't there or whatever else. Like, you as a professional athlete, you have the intentions to go out there and give 100% and be 100%, but that's not the way it works. Right? That's not the way it works. I'll always give you 100%, but that only might be 60 some days.
Hey, AC says all these primetime games suck. At least they didn't force us to watch the Steelers game again.
Oh, my God.
You know, speaking of Steelers, bring up that COVID list real quick. Right? Bring up that COVID list real quick. And so it's funny because we're talking about the Steelers. And if you look right here, some of the notable guys that just were put on the COVID reserve, it include Travis Kelce, Joey Bosa,
the stars,
and Jared Goff. Now the thing is this though, Travis Kelce is out right now. He might be out for the next 10 days, whatever. But I don't think they're going to be hurting for him that bad because guess who they play? They play the Steelers, and so I think he's a crucial part to that offense and to that team in general. But I don't think this is a game where we need Travis Kelce to get through this game. Yeah,
but Joey, for me, it's more than that because I've always talked about I enjoy watching the Chiefs, not because they're great or anything like that. I enjoy watching them because of how the innovativeness that they have offensively. I love watching what they do on offense. They do it so differently than everybody else does in the NFL for a multitude of reasons. Tyreek Hill is, again, I'm not asking Tyreek Hill to raise my daughter or go on a date with my daughter or anything like that. I enjoy watching Tyreek Hill between the lines in a football game, and he's the closest thing I've seen to Barry Sanders since Barry Sanders. Now, I know he's a receiver and everything like that, but he's electric when he gets the ball. You hold your breath for a second when they complete a pass in the flat to Tyreek Hill. You do, or when the football's in his hands, because he's so exciting and so elusive.
I don't know if I hold my breath, but he's a good player, though.
And he's such on a different. His evasiveness.
You know why he's on a different level? You know why he's on a different level? Because a lot of people don't know this. He's on a different level because he's hungry, and you only get that type of hunger when you play Division II. Just letting you guys know.
I know. Joke's always got to go in there for that. No, but his evasiveness is something we haven't seen in a very long time in the NFL. He's exciting to watch. That's my problem.
The biggest thing for him, though, it was another receiver out that was similar to him. You probably don't remember him, but you probably do. But also from Division II, but got hurt and never played again. But when they asked him, they asked the head coach, who's the fastest guy on your team? This is when Devin Hester was there. Mm-hmm. Is it Devin Hester or Johnny Knox? And the coach said, I don't know. I can't call that. You remember Johnny Knox?
Oh, yeah.
And from Abilene Christian?
Yep.
He had the same type of elusiveness, playmaking ability, but his career was cut short, I think, to some type of back injury or spinal injury.
Yeah, but that's my problem, though. So you have no Travis Kelce with the Chiefs. Then they're not the Chiefs. And therefore, my desire to watch is less than it was when he plays. Yes,
I understand. Yes, it is. But that's not the point I'm making. Right. What you're saying is absolutely right.
So it's not the same. Like, it's not football.
What I'm saying is you are accurate with your saying, but I'm saying that him missing this next game against the Steelers, I don't think will affect their playoff ability like how, Baker Mayfield was out for this particular game here. And so when you look at those different things, this couldn't happen at the most. It worked out in their favor. If it was going to happen, let it happen this week.
If you could choose. No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Okay. Certainly, I get what you're saying. Right. On our YouTube chat thread, Mr. Magoo89, Neil Rule is just unbearable. And I guess, guys, I better get used to that. I better get used to that kind of stuff today because it's not the first time it's going to happen today. I'm sure tonight you'll see on the social media, too. I'll be on the television call for Oakland, Michigan State basketball at Little Caesars Arena. I do want to put that out there. I work for Oakland. You guys know this. I work for Oakland, so please temper your social media.
I'm so excited tonight. I might pop through, but we're going to definitely turn it on because my boy Neil Rule is the heel tonight, baby. He's putting on his wrestling. The Golden Rule's coming at you. Oakland Grizzly basketball. Sparty on. Here we go. Coach Campy versus the You know what? What if I wanted to bet on that?
Well, if you wanted to get down on it, it's pretty simple. You go to mybookie.ag.
MyBookie.
You can go there right now, and here's what they'll do. They'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000 with the promo code Woodward. You heard me talk about MyBookie for a very, very long time. You know, look, they have everything that everybody else has, like in terms of lines, instant in-game live betting, everything, the futures, everything you want to do, the parlays, all the silly stuff that you want to do. The difference is with mybookie.ag, they have the sweet signing bonus. That's right, your own personal signing bonus. With MyBookie, they'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000 with the promo code Woodward. So go to mybookie.ag, very easy. Sign up, get your deposit in there, check your account, boom. First deposit doubled all the way up to $1,000. College basketball, we got bowls going on today. You know what it is. Big win for Tulsa yesterday over Old Dominion. I liked Old Dominion. Yeah, T-Foss was right. 30-17. They covered. Tulsa covered. But anyway, hey, you can jump right back on the horse and try to get right today. Wyoming's playing Kent State. That's going on at 3:30. You're going to be at work. Make that workday go a little bit quicker. Jump on mybookie.ag. Make your deposit. They'll double it all the way up to $1,000. They take crypto as deposits as well. Payouts, you're going to get your money super fast, super easy. All of that with MyBookie. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. With MyBookie, have a gambling problem, call the Gambling Problem Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
In unison.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Joy Bell back in the house, all toned up from Aruba. D-Mac, Darren McCarty, and I, we've been back here in real weather.
We need to go to Aruba.
We do, yeah.
Well, we all need to go.
On Joy.
Hey,
let's go.
There we go. We got our
I'm letting you know right now.
Yeah, we do. Tom Mazway in our YouTube chat thread. Neil Rule is the worst kind of football fan ever. I like high-level stuff, Maz. I do. I like seeing the best do what they do.
Is that Tom? Is that Tom Mazway?
Hey, Fish.
Hey, Tom.
Or Sam, either or. Can we talk to Jason at Guardian Alarm and see if we can get Maz to stay out of the comments when he doesn't have something nice to say about Neil or anybody on the show? Thank you. Stay out, Maz.
Stay out, Maz.
Yeah,
No, it is. I like the high-level guys. If Travis, you guys, be honest. And in the YouTube chat thread, you guys are there. You're instantly available. Be honest with me, you guys. If Travis Kelce doesn't play for the Chiefs, does that increase your desire to watch that game or decrease your desire to watch that game?
I think if you're a Chief fan, you're a Chief fan. If you're
I'm not talking to Chiefs fans.
No,
I'm talking
I don't
to.
think that that's enough of a caveat out of the game because they got so many toys. But if you say that Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce aren't playing, I'm checking in to see how Patrick Mahomes is.
Yeah.
But if you definitely tell me Patrick Mahomes isn't playing, see, you could say Kelce's playing, Hill's playing, Mahomes isn't. I'll check in to see how the backup's doing. But you know what? Other than, it'd be tough, right, to see if you saw them struggle early without a Hill and a Kelce. I think that they have enough toys there that you want to see just because are they real on this winning streak? Because we haven't seen them, play locked down.
You know what, though? I'm gonna tell you what's going to happen, though. We're not going to see a change in this until when? Until the Super Bowl. You think, say it's the Chiefs in the Super Bowl playing, I don't know, say whoever, and you think day before the game, or whenever it comes out that Patrick Mahomes has COVID, Tyreek Hill has it, Travis Kelce has it, and none of these guys are playing this game. You think that would happen? Do you think that would happen in the Super Bowl?
Well, no way. They'll let him play positive.
Yeah,
let him play positive.
Well, isn't that why they changed the right? The NFL has changed the testing.
They're going more to the NIL Rule style.
They're at least
we're hearing about viral
so
load
they're not
and stuff
telling
now.
you, they're not being transparent, saying, "Hey, we can't turn down the money and do this," but they're showing you that. So what? They're not testing asymptomatic players, or
vaccinated, boosted, asymptomatic.
So your
players.
point, the game would go on.
The game will go on. See, the game went on. So you didn't tune in yesterday, but a lot of people tuned into that game yesterday. They see the Browns play because, that was kind of their destiny, and they wanted to see what was going to happen. Were these guys going to step up and make plays?
I just don't think it was fair to the Browns.
It was. Who said, hey.
I don't think it was fair to the Browns, their fans, people that want to watch the game.
My question to you is this. Did the Las Vegas Raiders, did they have the same, are they abided by the same rules as the Browns?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Then it's fair. What I say is not fair if it's two different rules for two different teams and they're both playing each other. If they're under the same rules, like say those players on the Browns, say they got hurt and they were injured, right, and they couldn't play. Is that Las Vegas? Is that the Raiders' fault?
No, that's
that. No, I understand.
I know in principle it's the same, but because of their policies, I think you can't make a policy and say, okay, a guy that's hurt can play. You know what I'm saying? They're not playing because of a policy right now. Baker Mayfield says he's fine. All reports were that he was asymptomatic. So, again, I'll go back to it. Why push the game back then? You know what I'm saying? You already caved a little bit by pushing the game back. What's the difference now?
It's true.
That's the thing, Joy. Like, you're not wrong and you're not right, and I'm not right and I'm not wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we don't know.
Yeah, we're in limbo.
Absolutely, that's what's the frustrating thing about it. I guess when you go across
because it's
across
the pressure.
The board.
It's the pressure, right? It's the pressure from people like us, the media, the fans. This isn't fair. This isn't right. And if the NFL see that it can hurt the bottom line, they're going to do just enough to say, okay, we tried.
Yep.
And then by them pushing the game back.
Hey, where's those advertising checks, by the way, for the broadcast? Those clear? Those clear? Clomp Sauce says that will decrease my enthusiasm to watch the game. David Mentier says, I don't care either way. It depends if I bet on it. MyBookie.ag, double your first deposit, all the way up to $1,000 there, David. But and there is that segment of it where people are going to get down on it no matter what, and that's part of the machine why they're going to play regardless, because they still put a line out there.
Rob Topping. If players are jabbed, they should play. If they're vaccinated, they should play.
And that's where I am with it.
Yeah.
Especially if they're asymptomatic or whatever. That's you can leave it up to them. Like if they're positive and they don't want to play, fine. But Joey, guys are going to play.
I think they should let the players vote on it.
I agree. I do agree with that.
The unanimous wins. Let the players vote. Just around the NFL, they get votes from all the players on each team, and then go from there. And then whatever they decide is what they decide. But they're taking it out the players' hands and they put it into the NFL hands, because we don't have any say-so, obviously.
MPWMU says, I'd be infuriated if I'm triple jabbed and can't play. These tests need to be examined. And that's
the most frustrating thing.
Yeah.
As an athlete, you do everything that's asked of you, compliant, whatever, and still you're not out because you're injured or because you're like sick in bed, sick or have that illness. That's the most frustrating. It's like when you're a kid, right? And it's not raining out. It's not gonna rain. We can still play. We can still play. Thunder and lightning coming down.
Golfers are the worst for that.
Right?
With the helmets and Yeah,
right,
golfers are the worst.
Hey, the siren goes off. No, that was on the other course. That wasn't. No, dude.
See,
golfers are the way. That's what it's like. It's like, man, come on. I'm out here.
Yeah, I got the day off. I want to get my golf in and everything like that. AC says, don't worry, Neil, the check still clears. LOL. David, turn a negative comment into a plug for the game. Nice. Oh, it's part of the skill set, I guess, D-Mac.
That's what I said. I said you're smooth.
No, absolutely. But we are, and I didn't want it to devolve into this because we've covered the hell out of this whole COVID thing and everything that is going on. But speaking of COVID, Jared Goff, Matt Nelson on the COVID list for the Lions. They don't know if Goff is going to play yet or not. So we don't know, I guess, is the answer. And hell, we never know.
A lot of guys are excited. They want to see Blau play.
But it'll be Boyle.
Yeah, Mr. August, Tim Boyle.
But no, they want to. So the thing is, they were upset with, I'm not going to lie. I always give Goff a hard time.
Yeah.
I always give him a hard time.
He's balled out the last couple of weeks.
He balled out the last game. And so when, I always got to let him know. I mean, ever since he came back from bye week, his numbers has been drastically different. Way better. I think he threw 9 interceptions in the first 8 games before the bye week. In the last, up until this point, he's only thrown 2 with 9 touchdowns or something like that, and he's playing a lot better. His quarterback rating went up a whole point. I think he went from 66 to 67. He's playing at a high level right now. So I got to give him credit due. He's making those same throws we saw him missing before, like that wheel route that he missed Hockenson on. He came back and hit St. Brown on that, on a similar pass, hit him in stride, touchdown. He became a weapon, and so it was kind of dope to see him kind of, grow into his role at quarterback and start to make some of these major throws.
Can I give Joy my stat?
Yes.
From yesterday.
What?
Just so you know, so you know that the stats follow what you're saying. Yesterday was Sunday was the first game Jared Goff's air yardage was over 10.
It was over 10?
10.6, baby! Yeah! He got there, baby! He got there. So, to your point, and I was going to ask you, and Neil, yesterday, but, and we don't have the video, but for everybody listening and stuff, you remember Ross St. Brown's touchdown when he ran the wheel route and threw? That was the first time I saw Goff stand in the pocket, and how many times, this is what it got me thinking of, is where you see quarterbacks warm up and they do the drill where the coach is bumping them with the pad where they're trying to avoid the guy or whatever, because the play that he made to avoid, I don't know who the defensive end was, and pull it down and to make that throw, commitment to things that when you broke him down earlier, what he wasn't doing with the happy feet and not committing in to stay in the pocket. Yeah. To me, what I saw is that team, and not only because of the celebration and the way, but moments like that, they're all in together.
They're all in. You know who took a lot of pressure off of him? Craig Reynolds. Big Craig. He took a lot of pressure. This guy came out of nowhere. I'm happy to see guys like this come in, kind of make a name for himself. After that, Broncos game, we're like, well, is this guy the real deal? And I think coming in against a team like this and having a 100-yard day speaks volume. Speaks a lot of volume. And very deserving of that new contract he just signed. Very deserving.
Yeah, Craig. He ain't going to get fired on his day off.
He ain't going to get fired on his day off, man. What they call him, Netflix? I wonder why they call him Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix. Check him out.
He's not going to have a lot of time, as we were talking about yesterday, to watch.
I want to get him on the show this week. I'm going to get him on the show this week. I love his story. Small school guy, have to grind to fight to get to where he's at. So I'm happy to get him on the show and hear his story.
Love to talk to Craig.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, Craig.
No, absolutely. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I don't know if you guys saw this or not. David Ojabo, Michigan defensive player that's going to be making a lot of money come April. He is shooting up the draft boards. I've seen him projected into the top 10 now, which I told you guys that's how it's going to be.
Hutchinson.
I from a ceiling perspective, I do.
Yeah.
From a ceiling perspective, I do.
Making a point
and there's reasons, there's reasons to that. But it came to light. Now, this has always been the case, but it came to light. International students are not able to capitalize on their name, image, and likeness. Yeah. And he put out a tweet and talked about he had some stuff for sale, but he's not allowed to receive the money from it. So I want to go to the source on this. When we come back, we'll be joined by my good friend Cameron Evans, president of the Evans Law Group. He's a labor attorney, was a longtime agent with Pivotal Sports Management as well. He's kind of been at the forefront of this for a couple of years, and him and I used to work together on a podcast that was about this type of thing. And he's got... Guys, I'm going to tell you this. Be ready for this discussion, because I have the sense a lot of people aren't going to like where this is going to be going with college athletes and the name, image, and likeness and stuff like that because of these types of situations with David Ojabo that we're encountering. But when we come back, we'll discuss that with Cameron Evans of the Evans Law Group. You've heard me talk about for a long time. Bowling Warehouse in Hamtramck, home of the original football bowling pin game called
It's where Sawyer goes to drink.
where Sawyer likes to put $2 in the mystery beer vending machine, and he came out with an Old Milwaukee last weekend. He was fired up. You should be fired up to go to the Foaling Warehouse. And, oh, by the way, the football bowling pin game. Your neighbors have done it. Your friends have done it. Your coworkers have done it. You need to do it, too. You can host a corporate party, team building event, or just come on in for open play. That's certainly an option for you as well. You can reserve lanes for, if you got a smaller get-together you want to do, you can do that. That's an option also. And, of course, you can have some beverages while you're there as well. They got multiple full bars, over 100 different beers available. A $2 mystery beer vending machine, as we talked about earlier. Sawyer's done it twice. First time PBR, second time Old Milwaukee. He's pumping his fist. He's feeling it. That day he went 4-1 playing Foaling as well. Coincidence? I think not. Get your full on. Check them out. Go to the website, foalingwarehouse.com, and check it out and get on down there. It's a great time. Really one of the best times in the city. Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck.
Big D.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCartney, Joik Bell in the house. We got Sam over in the bowl along with Fish Sawyer in the production booth right now, getting Cameron Evans of the Evans Law Group set up. But, we were talking about it, the name, image, and likeness thing. And this is a whole can of worms. And, Joik, I'm curious to get your perspective on it, too, because when you're an international student, you come over here on a student visa. So the rules are different, and I understand we do have it. And Joik, hold your thought for 1 second as we welcome in the president of the Evans Law Group, one of the very best labor attorneys in the state of Michigan and America, was a sports agent for a long time as well. Cameron Evans, our guest here on Big D Energy. Cam, what's going on, man? How are you?
Doing well, Neil. Nice to join you.
Thanks for joining
absolutely.
us.
Good to have you. Good to have you. So, Cam, and I reached out to you yesterday as soon as I saw it, where David Ojabo with Michigan put out a tweet yesterday and talked about how he wanted to be able to sell some T-shirts and do some stuff like that. And I think it kind of brought it to the forefront, Cam. Explain it kind of in common man's terms, why David Ojabo is not able to receive name, image, and likeness like maybe another player is.
He's an international student, so he has to be in the United States on a visa, and the only visa that students in college are eligible for are the F1 visas, and they do not permit employment off campus. They only permit on-campus employment. So if they want to go work at the student union, at the library, you think of the smart people out there, the grad students, that they're employed by the university, that they can do that, but they violate the terms of their visa and are subject to getting kicked out of the United States if they go and accept payment from outside of the university, which is name, image, and likeness is all outside the university. And it requires employment status even to work on the university, and damn fight about that colleges are not going to sit there and say that the athletes are employees. So they are strictly prohibited from lawfully participating in name, image, and likeness. And it's a big issue because a large percentage of college athletes are, international students.
Cam, when you look at it from that perspective, too, this isn't, because I know, and we're already seeing it in our chat threads and all of our live forms of involvement here on the show, they're already saying it, why doesn't the NCAA fix it? And, Cam, this isn't an NCAA issue. This is a governmental issue, correct?
Correct.
Well, it could be an NCAA issue because, your fix here is to simply say, let's recognize a student quote unquote student athletes, really college athletes. Let's recognize them as employees. The world's not going to come to a crash. Everybody can adapt. There's new models. There's a lot of benefits if you would do that. But the NCAA, after they got their butt kicked in the U.S. Supreme Court again this summer, has taken a complete hands-off approach because they don't want to get accused of antitrust violations. It's like, hey, we're putting our hands up. This is just really up to the conferences for the most part now. They just adopted their new constitution last week. And so the NCAA, they're not going to try to fix anything, and I don't think they know how to fix anything. Because, here, the only fix is to say, hey, let's recognize them as employees and move forward. Because otherwise, you're right, it's a government issue. You'd have to try to get Congress to do something here to change the rules on F1 visas. That's not happening. And so right now, in this situation, an international student is absolutely screwed from the standpoint of participating in NIL. And it's crazy because, Neil, we've talked about this before. So 2016 at the Rio Games, there was a swimmer from Singapore that upset Michael Phelps in, I think, the 100-meter butterfly. He was a University of Texas swimmer. Singapore paid him $740,000 under their Olympic medal program, and he never lost his eligibility. So the NCAA is incapable of fixing this.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Here with Cameron Evans, president of the Evans Law Group. So my question to you is this some type of loopholes? Kind of like taxes. There's always some type of loopholes to where we can get these kids paid. Whether it be they're doing landscaping on campus with, say, a new group that was formed on campus, working on campus, and they get paid that way, get $200,000 for landscaping or something like that.
So, Joe, I disconnected. I just caught the last end of your question.
All right, so the question is this: is this just like with taxes? Is this always some type of loophole? Is there some type of loophole to where, say, they can form some type of group on campus, right? Say it might be landscaping, and they go cut, an acre of grass, or they do something like that. And then later on, they might post something about Chevrolet dealership and get paid $200,000 for cutting grass, right? Is it a loophole like that they might be able to do?
They could exploit something if the university would cooperate, and the university would say they're university employees, which the university is never going to do. And so, to do this lawfully, it's a creative thought out there. But there'd be a risk as to what the U.S. government would do with their visa. The NCAA is not going to do anything. Hell, you guys want to pay, boosters want to pay University of Texas linemen $50,000 apiece. That's not a violation of extra benefits or pay for play. So, the NCAA isn't going to police this at all, but you got to worry about what the federal government's going to do. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, college athletes out there. You guys have been there. You know how poor they are, and trying to put money in their pocket and try to do something creative.
Cool. So what about this? So say a booster comes out of nowhere and says, "Listen, we want to pay every D lineman that has over 10 sacks $200,000."
It's a joint.
We can do that.
No,
that's not against.
Except for David Ojabo.
You got to listen to what Cam says. This is a government issue. This is federal government. NCAA says go give them $1 billion. The fact is that you got the government on these kids' butt. My question to you, Cam, is putting on your lawyer's hat and your sports agent hat, what is your advice for some of these athletes? Because here's the thing we're not worried about, because I would say, well, what are you talking about? Can I go get Ojabo's autograph like he's my buddy and go sell it for him and give him money? That's not the big issue here. The big issue here is that you may never be able to live in the United States or work in the United States if you violate your student visa to this. So this is a bigger issue, and it comes back to the NCAA, right?
Ooh, what about this? Go ahead, Cam.
So, Darren, no, you're absolutely right. And one of the things, the things right now that college athletes can do is to organize in some fashion. And there's efforts out there, and whether it's going to be really, ultimately it's going to be like organize, have the federal government declare that they're actually employees, and then you treat them just like, another version of professional sports.
So
they'd have players' associations, they'd have employees. God, the NCAA would have an antitrust exemption, so you don't have to worry about the antitrust stuff. But that's really their only mechanism right now as it relates to trying to address this international student situation. The other thing, you could do, if you had boosters that just wanted to give somebody a gift, you can give gifts in the United States. You can give a gift up to $15,000 a year without any tax consequences. I mean, that's something that they could do, is try to have boosters just, giving gifts to people, which is what this whole thing, opened up this can of worms when you have NIL, because the NCAA sanctioned boosters now having a lawful mechanism to pay college athletes. So, but right now, they're in a tight corner if you're an international athlete.
Talking to Cameron Evans, president of the Evans Law Group, one of the very best labor attorneys in the state of Michigan and the United States for that matter. So, Cam, let me break this down this way then, and this is where, and everybody that's involved with the show right now, they're like, hey, how come you don't just give them the work visas as well? And here's what it's going to take, Cam. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I didn't go to law school. But, following sports for a long time, following sports for a living, I kind of see the writing on the wall here. Are we getting very close to the time where college athletes, they're going to have to get together and they're going to have to unionize? And as you said, this is what they're going to be forced to do here because we're seeing the special exemptions in the David Ojabo situation. There'll be another one next week that pops up. There'll be another one in 2 months that pops up. As these legalities and these technicalities pop up. The day's coming very soon, isn't it, Cam, where the college sports athletes, they're just going to have to unionize, and it will be professional sports. Would you agree with that or disagree?
I think it's ultimately where you're going to end up. It's a matter of when. You have an administration in Washington, D.C. right now that is encouraging college athletes to go and try to force the NLRB, the National Labor Relations Board, to declare them employees and allow them collective bargaining rights, once they become unionized. I think that is a path. This is all started that, when you have such a large amount of money and you do not have to compensate your labor force, that the inequities become so bad that it's got to be dealt with. And this isn't even dealing with all the gender equity issues out there. The NCAA just got ripped by their own outside review that was conducted on gender equity, especially when it comes to women's basketball and how they don't do crap for it. And so I think that's where it's going to end up. Is it going to be 4 years? Is it going to be 10 years? It's where we're going to end up someday.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Cam, man, as always, appreciate the opportunity to pick your brain. Appreciate you coming on. We're certainly going to have you on more in the future as this stuff plays out, my friend.
Fantastic. All right.
Thanks.
See you guys later.
Thanks, Cam.
Cam Evans of the Evans Law Group. Yep.
So bottom line, somebody needs to gift that kid $15,000 or donations or whatever like that. So the legality means that he could make there's a place to gift it, but other than that, what a joke! And it sounds like that's the only way for them to come together.
Well, he's a top 10 pick, man, in the NFL. $15,000. And look, guys, I know it's a lot to me, and I know it's a lot to you. But with the leverage of his situation, you're a top 10 NFL pick, $15,000. What is that?
During your season, it's a whole crap load because you're a pick
No,
at the end of the year.
I'm saying though, compared to what David Ojabo could be pulling in right now.
No. Right. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's pennies on the dollar.
Well, I don't know what the market is, but you look at what even guys that didn't come through, like a Spencer Rattler and the kid in Ohio State that transferred. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Right?
Quinn Ewers got $1 million.
You tell me no. I ask you why.
My whole point, though, right, is for at this time, the information that I heard is that there's a way to get these kids, and it's not just a Ojabo, it's any international kid, $15,000 gifted, right, as a student. To me, that's the bottom line answer, to where we're at now. But as Cam said, this is a whole work. And you heard me laugh there. When you talk about equality of the NCAA, it's almost like going through this infested house and they're cleaning it room by room and just knocking them down. And when you have your own internal investigators, and it reminded me back to when they're talking about in the bubble what the girls' gym and what their facilities were compared to the men's, and that's absolutely everything's right. So hopefully as this peels back, maybe the NCAA will get their stuff together, but I doubt it.
No, exactly. I doubt it as well. But what I don't doubt is when I want to have a drink, Gypsy Vodka is one of the first bottles I grab for. Oh, look.
Oh, I know water when I see it.
Yeah,
oh,
there
my
we
God,
go.
You just put water in there. Look at
there
that thing's
it
going
is.
down by the minute.
Gypsy Vodka, Michigan's gluten-free vodka. 50 different formulas, countless taste tests. We had the owners in studio. It was good to rap with them. And you could see that they left it all out there when they created Gypsy Vodka. They believe it to be the world's best-tasting, smoothest vodka on the market. And who am I to argue? As I said, gluten-free, corn distilled 6 times, uses artesian spring water. You can support local guys from right here in Michigan. Gypsy Vodka out of Petoskey, Michigan. Try a bottle of it today. Ask for it by name. It's Gypsy Vodka. As always, drink responsibly.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
It's on and popping here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Joik Bell, D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house. Old Milwaukee's own Sawyer in the production booth. We got Sam in there. Learning those ones and twos. Fish over there overseeing everything. Happy to have you all along for the ride. And, you know, just to kind of wrap up that discussion with Cameron Evans, and this is something where I've talked with Cam personally about it. This day is coming, and I'm questioning, you know, I want to get the... And 9 Drink says a $15,000 gift is a lot of Gypsy Vodka. No, certainly it is. That wouldn't be an unwise investment if it were me. But I'm curious to know, again, you know, from the viewers and the listeners and everything like that, because I see it universally across the board. Everybody's saying, look, amend the work visas, let David Ojabo get his money, which certainly I support, which I think everybody in this room supports. But you know, guys, you know what that's going to take, right? And I think we've proven that we don't like the method that it's going to take to do this a lot of times. David Ojabo's tweet right now on our YouTube channel, he says, unfortunately, I cannot profit off my name, image, and likeness because I'm an international student, even though I will not be compensated. I truly love and appreciate the Michigan fan base, so I'm excited to share that my jersey and jersey tiers are
I'm going to tell you what we can do.
At valiantufm.com.
You know, I'd say this is what we probably can do for him. If someone wants him to do something, all right, cool, but I can't get paid. All right, but if you guys did pay me, how much would you pay me? Oh, $200,000. How about this? I do it for you. I can't get paid, but you can, you know, give it to my mother and dad.
Well, here's the whole thing.
Can you do that?
You're not realizing, like, okay, because
it jeopardizes work visa.
Maybe because I'm Canadian, right? And I have a permanent residence and whatever. I don't have citizenship or whatever. How serious it is for someone who, like, and we're not talking about anything else, but when you're messing with being able to live and work in this country, you're fine to get to that money spot, right? You know what I'm saying? These are the tight ropes, and you're saying, yeah, all that stuff. Tie it in, do it. But if you leave a trail and they want to get you, they'll get you.
Like, if they did that, Joik, Ojabo could be banned from coming to the United States.
You could never play again.
Like, never play football again.
So
not be a top 10
the
pick.
higher guys with the more money, the more eyeballs are on it. That's why the NCAA or the union has to come in.
So right now we talk about Ojabo. Well, what about the guys that's not going to make it to the next level? What about those guys?
Well, then it'd be the same thing as, like, I guess if you're do anything on the black market, right? You know what I mean? There's a risk and a reward, right? We're not there's a way to do it. Cam told you there's a way to do it. It's just might not be the legalist way, right? The legalist way to do it is the NCAA gets off their butts, takes all this crap kicking they're taking publicly and realizes we need to change. Let's do what's right instead of what makes all the money. And then,
well, that's the thing. They've been lobbying. They've been spending their lobbying dollars to fight this battle.
That's what I'm
where
saying.
this day wouldn't come.
They lost.
And they lost, right.
But that's what I'm saying, that this is what needs to happen. So to your point, Neil, where people do not want to hear that college players, athletes and whatever need to unionize or whatever, but if it's the only way because that's the game that's being played by the opposition because nobody wants to play, hey, guys, I'm going to tell you, don't walk in wanting to play the game. Be happy you have a seat at the table. Play the game they're playing. Play at the best of your ability. Then they're going to get tired and come around. It'll be your turn to pick the game.
But here's where I was going, Joy, and I'm curious to get your opinion on this, because ultimately, for all the college student athletes to eradicate this type of thing, you know what this means?
Yes.
They're going to have to get together, and they're going to have to form a union, strike, all those kinds of things. Could be a situation where you don't get to watch your college football.
Yep.
I mean, this is real. So keep the same energy right now about Ojabo that we're seeing. Keep the same energy when they get together and say, you know what, we're taking this to the ultimate level, and we will not play until it's handled.
NCAA-PA.
Sure. It rings nicely.
Yeah. National College
Isn't there a
Athletic
movie?
Association.
Isn't there
Players Association. That's what it's going to be. NCAA-PA. And they have to do it.
But are you guys prepared for the ramifications of that?
That's what you're looking at right now, but that's not the bigger picture. The bigger picture is this. Once they do this for football, you got to think basketball. You know, you have to think girls basketball, hockey. You have to think baseball. So all these, is this going to be one PA, like one NCAA PA for all sports? Or is it going to be NCAA football, PA? Like, what is it going to be? Because every sport is going to have to go through this. Every sport, right? And just this is the one that is more prevalent right now because you have a guy that's potentially could be a top 10 pick who's not getting paid, and we're looking like, why can't he get paid? And he's one of the most
it's top 10 draft pick.
Top 10 draft picks. One of the most prolific players coming out in this draft, and so. That's why it's a major conversation right now. But it takes a guy like this to be as major as he is to make this become a topic where people are going to listen. Right?
Absolutely.
There's a movie coming out. I think it's Christmas, and I don't know what it is, but it's something about the NCAA where the top player, boycotts before the championship and stuff like that. It's like life is turning into sport and life and all this stuff like this. Like, I should know what the name of the movie is, but that's the whole thing, is where these athletes and these kids are being pushed in the corners. Because first it was not, like, now it was, we got everybody beyond they get the education, so they should be happy with cheese sandwiches and stuff like this and not being able to eat. No, we moved on to that to realize they should get, because they're making the university. Now we got to realize that they're being put in a position that there's no other way for them to do it because of what the NCAA, like you said, fighting so hard against it instead of spending all this money for good, right?
You know why? Because they rather spend money on this, because in the long run it's going to save it makes them more money. So they rather spend this little bit of money now. And that's what the rich do. Like they don't conform, they react. And so the way that they can react is by putting more money in their pockets, buying time, and then also taking money out of these kids' mouths. And we care about the student, athlete, but yet we don't want to pay them.
So Juice's Ghost. He says, so could Ojabo get paid as a pro without being a citizen? Yes, he gets a visa.
He gets a work
visa. So he gets a work visa, which means he can work. He's no longer a college student. So that comes with that big check.
Yeah, absolutely. And DJ Sweat says, why can't Ojabo get money? For those of you just joining us right now, we're talking about David Ojabo. Because he is an international student, he has a student visa. Therefore, he can only work for the university. That is it. So he is cut out of the name, image, and likeness. And we're seeing this across the country pop up. But as Joik said, it takes David Ojabo to shine that light on it. And let's be real. It's not fair, because he's doing the same thing everybody else is doing, but this is a governmental issue. And I'm letting everybody know that the only way that they're going to be able to fix this, because the NCAA has already shown they're wiping their hands out of all this. They're like, hey, you guys figure it out. We like our checks the way they are right now. Yeah. We like the lack of effort we have to put in to get those checks. We're not doing anything about it. So the day is coming where college student athletes are going to have to unionize. to get change.
No, I'm not getting so I'm not getting political here, but at this point now we say that, it's a government issue or it's an NCAA issue, and it's a toss up between who issue it is. But if you look at it, NCAA just lost. It just lost this summer. And so now I feel like the government can come in and step in and make some type of leeway for these players who come in and play for these big-time universities and make it able right? Yeah, I mean, why not?
No. Like everything, dude, you're talking common sense. That's why it's not happening.
That's your problem.
Like, I'm laughing at the fact that you say, right? They both should come in and save the day. Hey, not being political, but the way that the politics are, if the person in charge wants to make a big splash, go save the NCAA from themselves, right? All the different thing, you want positive stuff. But again, and to the comment of if you want to get paid, become a citizen, it's not that easy.
And so real quick, you have Elvin Smith right here calling Ojabo the Nigerian nightmare. And so I'm going to give you this. I'm going to say this. It takes a guy like this to bring this to light, because I'm going to tell you this. I played with a Nigerian when I was in college. His name was Ethan the Nightmare, and the guy, and he played defensive line. He was a really good player, but no one cares about a Division II D lineman from Nigeria who's playing well at a high level, right? Nobody's thinking about that. But you have a guy like this, it's a top 10 pick, who literally just gave him the same nickname popped it into my head. Like, he's bringing it to light, and so it's going to take him, and it's also going to take everyone else like around who feel this is wrong to step up and say, oh, something needs to change. I don't know if a petition needs to be signed, take it to the government, make it become a talk, write up something. I'm not political, so I'm not a politic by any means, but what do you do here?
Yeah, Juice Ghost says, so Ojabo can get paid as a pro without being a citizen. He's got to get the work visa. Once he becomes, an employee, then he can apply for his work visa. He'll get it. He'll roll out.
And trust me, whoever team drafts him will make sure he gets that visa. So he doesn't even have to worry about that. Once he gets drafted, it's out of his hand. Every team is going to take care of him. Because why? Because when it's in their benefit, they figure it out.
No, absolutely. So again, it's something where we'll need to keep an eye on that. I'm not saying it's happening next week. I'm not saying it's happening before next football season or in a year or in 2 years or 3 years. But the day is coming where they will have to unionize, and they will have to be prepared to pay the ultimate price, and that is we will not play until these things are handled. That's it, D-Mac.
Well, and Neil, the whole thing is because everything's changed. Everything's changed with social media, with everything else, and I always thought that there's sort of this give and this take, but it's like, where's everybody working together? And when you see there's different pieces pulling apart and smashing heads and stuff, then it'll never get done, right? So then it's forced into a corner to something that not everybody wants, right? It's that angry divorce. It's that angry, because the courts had to settle it instead of figuring out what's right for everybody and trying to figure out the win-win. But I digress.
Well, here's the thing, too. J.D. Pesto says there's not enough money, wink, wink. It's not even the NCAA's money. It's not even the school's money. These are companies that want to do name, image, and likeness deals. That's where I kind of laugh. When we come back, do want to talk about the NFL a little bit, the NFL MVP thing. I want everyone to draw that line in the sand right now, because I think I know where everybody will go given what happened to Tampa. But we'll discuss that as well. Golden Grizzlies playing Michigan State at Little Caesars Arena. We'll get Joik's thoughts on the college football recap, some of the biggest upsets of the year we'll look back on. And there's also a cool one. What if I told you what if I told you college football edition, some things that would have happened. What if we told you that before the season started? All that and more. It's Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show. Big D Energy, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, Joyke Bell in the house. Happy to have you all with us on our YouTube chat thread. Remember, you can follow Woodward Sports on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, wherever, whatever your preferred social media outlet is. You can follow us there. Download the Woodward Sports app on the Apple and the Google Play stores. And the podcast as well. This is perfect for somebody like me who's lazy and wants somebody else to do the work for him. I got you covered. Click subscribe to the Big D Energy Podcast. Whole episode goes right to your phone. Boom, you're in there. You don't have to do anything. You can be lazy exactly like me. Just wrapping up this discussion. Jim Churchill says unionizing is not the answer. Matt Carrier says, I don't see unionization as the path. So I would be, my question instantly goes, then what is the path?
Right.
I think how else are you going to bring about change? Because we've proven we're not going to change it.
Here's the thing. We're not bringing this to the table as the first option. We're saying you're pushing the kids into a corner that this seems like their way out. And to talk to Cam Evans, who's a former agent, a lawyer and stuff like this, it seems like that is, the temperature right now.
Yeah.
So, like you said, we'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see. Like we sat back and we waited to see if they were ever going to pay these students. They would have never paid these students. These students didn't mobilize and start to make this, put this in the forefront and take it to court.
Well, they're still not paying them. The colleges aren't paying them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're still not paying them, but they wouldn't have this NIL deal if they didn't come together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
And that was the first step.
So us sitting back here and saying, we'll wait for the NCAA. If the NCAA is making money off these kids and the kids aren't doing anything and you guys are lucky to be here. We give you guys a full ride scholarship, but we're bringing you in more money than what than what you're bringing to us. Right? I understand. It's a great opportunity to come and play. Collegiate ball, but understand we put in the work. We did. You guys aren't out there running up and down that field, running up and down that court, on that baseball diamond, on that hiking ring. We are, right? So we're bringing you more money than what you're bringing us.
Here's the perfect sense, Jim, is the fact that if there are top, what do you think, Neil? 3, 4 athletes to go in the top 10 that are international, that are missing out on this, then it will be a bigger deal. Right now, because like you said, things are changing and it's not affecting most of the kids, but it's affecting some of them, and it's just something that as we pull the rug on this NIL deal, these are the bugs that are underneath the rug. So, I don't know how much that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I believe Rick Ross said it best, Joyke, when he says, "You wasn't with me shooting jumpers in the gym." Like that's, No,
that was Drake.
Or Drake in the Rick Ross song.
That was Drizzy. You weren't with me shooting in the gym. Yeah. You weren't with me. Yeah. That was Drizzy Drake. But no, honestly, but like. The same way all these kids mobilize to make sure the majority, they should also do it for the minority, for student athletes like Ojabo.
Right, and they should. And Tammy Chin says, I just feel bad that he can't make money now on his face and name. He worked hard to make the money like everybody else
Don't be sad.
is.
He's about to get that big bag. Don't be sad.
Yeah, but still, though, Joyke.
No. What I'm saying is, in this case, it's a sad situation, obviously. I feel more bad for the kids who aren't going to get drafted in the first, second, third round, who might not play at the next level, but could be getting paid right now. That's not going to see a dime because of the work visa and because of the situation they're in right now. That's the bigger picture, right? And that's what I'm looking at. Like Ojabo, it's sad and it's messed up. What's happening with him is very unfortunate, but he's about to get that bag.
No question.
Yeah, he's about to get that bag, and and. This is more fuel to the fire for him.
No, there is no doubt about that. He will get paid. Matt Carrier says simply take care of the athletes. Well, sounds so easy, doesn't it, Matt? Like it really does. But
and the thing is, this is not even the university doesn't have money or the NCAA doesn't have money to pay all the students. This is outside money that these kids don't have access to, right? Because of for whatever reason. In any way that they can get money, it will jeopardize their citizenship or being able to be in this country or come back to this country. And so that's the sad part. That's the sad part.
Our guy Juice's Ghost says it's all because EA Sports stopped making NCAA football. That's what kicked all this off. But don't worry, it's in the works.
We had that conversation a month ago.
And no one's more excited than Sawyer about that. How hype are you? Give me your 1 to 10 hype level for the return of college football from EA Sports.
You give it like a 7.
Can I just not sort of, but just a little bit off topic, but speaking of football, Christmas Day on Fox, all Madden, the John Madden story.
I am
Anybody
hyped for that.
interested in that? I'm sort of hyped for that. They're going through all the players and talking about what John Madden meant to football and stuff. I love those documentaries, but a big part of the game. And I was watching some snippets on Sunday, and Troy Aikman pretty much said it. He says, John Madden's the narrator to my career, and different things like that. So speaking of NCAA, and got to throw Madden in there, but that's the one Madden that I will pay attention to this on Christmas. 2 o'clock Fox.
I know. I am fired up for that one too, just because it looks like it's going to be all encompassing, like from the TV career to the coach to what Madden did for football. Because my son, again, I kind of revolve this all back around because this is what I live, right, with our kids.
It's a great learning tool.
Oh, he can analyze an offense. He sees it. He watches it on TV, and he's like, "Oh, I run that play in Madden. This is 2 trips left, and that's a Z route that he's running." Like it is. It's crazy.
It is. Speaking of John Madden, what movie did he play in was like one of the best movies to you guys that he played in? I know what mine is. What was your favorite movie John Madden played in, if you can remember?
Yeah, I don't remember.
The Little Giants.
Oh, he was in the Little Giants. Yeah. That's right. I forgot about that one.
A little trivia for you guys with the ice box, with the annexation of Puerto Rico.
The annexation of Puerto Rico.
Hey, I'll tell you, Neil. That's the truth, though, for somebody who never played football or whatever, but learning formations or being able to recognize, it all goes in. Madden's a huge thing.
Yeah, it's where we talked about before. It's where I learned clock management.
Hey, listen, we learned a lot of things on Tecmo Bowl, and we can agree that's far superior to own that game.
It's far superior football simulation.
Yes.
Just in terms of play calling.
But learning the ins and outs to the games, maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay, that's fair. Clock management.
It's safe to say that earlier in the season, maybe Dan Campbell learned from Tecmo Bowl, and now he's learning from Madden, right? Clock management.
Yeah, people jumped on the Little Giants.
Carlos jumped on and said Little Giants. Yep. I'm telling you, that's one of the all-time greats. So Little Giants is up there, but it doesn't get the same recognition as the Sandlot. It doesn't.
It doesn't get
the same.
And it's really the same thing when you think about it.
When you think about it,
that's interesting.
A group of kids, some rejects who didn't make a team, formed their own team with a coach who didn't know anything about football, and then beat the team with everybody he was going for, the professional head coach who played in the NFL, a legend, and they didn't get the recognition. Man, it hurt my heart. But the icebox, oh yeah, she was.
Little Giants, Joint Bells, Christmas football movie for you.
You know what it is?
Over the weekend.
You know what it was? It is. I'm actually going to watch that when I get home.
You know what? I'm watching that. Speaking of that, since we're nostalgic right now, you know what I miss? The Budweiser Super Bowl commercials with the 40s and the 22 ounce and all that kind of stuff. The Bud Bowl. I miss the Bud Bowl a lot. I remember Budweiser had the ball at the 1 yard line, and they brought it in the freezer, and he was a 40 ounce. He gave the ball, and he just took everybody into the end zone.
D. Smitty hopped in the chat. Got me about to show my kids that movie tonight.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't think my kids have seen that one. We will have to check that one out. I do miss the Bud Bowl though. We'll have to see if we can pull up what they. I just want to see the 40-ounce bottle. Well, so I'll hit you up maybe in the break. We'll see if we can yank that. I want the 40-ounce bottle running in the end zone during the Bud Bowl.
I love when we sit back and have these conversations because it brings back a lot of memories. Yeah. A lot of my childhood memories are in that movie, in the Sandlot, Little Giants. Somebody said The Replacements. That wasn't. It was a good movie. I wouldn't put it up there with that.
The Program was my favorite.
A football story
movie.
by Joy Bell.
Yeah. The Program was my favorite football movie of all time.
The college. That was pretty good. That was back in the day.
Latimer's out there smashing the windows in the car, and the coach is like, make sure you tell him the NC2A's testing on Saturday.
Or the guy had to walk around campus with the football, couldn't fumble. He's taking the test, and they hit it, and the whole team falling down the stairs.
Darnell Jefferson? Yeah. That was a great movie.
Could you relate to any of that? Like, when you watch some of that, because even like Slapshot or Young Blood or stuff like the hockey movies, there's some good stuff in there that you can relate to.
I'll probably say the Little Giants. When I came to Wayne State, they hadn't had a winning season in 30 years, so we was always like the team like no one really thought about. I remember before I ended up committing to Wayne State School, said we beat them 73. Why would you go there? We just killed them, and then we go back and we play them, and we beat them when I get there, and we're going to have the first win of the season. And then by the time I graduated, we were the winningest team in school history, and the next class came back and beat that and continued to grow. So it was pretty dope. But I'll probably say the Little Giants, if more so than anything.
I liked Any Given Sunday a lot. Clomp Sauce on here says Any Given Sunday. I did like Any Given Sunday a lot.
That's my all-time favorite football movie.
Pacino's speech. I mean, that gets every athlete.
You're going to tell me
the game of itches
that Lawrence Taylor chainsawing a car in half isn't a good movie? That's a good movie.
You know what, though? I would say this. That was probably over the top, like with the parties and not over the top. Now, that might happen on some teams. And back in the day, that's probably how it used to be. I don't think you see that going on anymore just because of the camera phone and everybody catching and all that nowadays. But yeah, man, that was one of my all-time favorite movies, man. For real. Bill Bellamy. And then just to hear stories about that movie, with like Jamie Foxx and LL Cool J, that was a real fight. That wasn't like scripted. That was a real fight. So I think LL Cool J smacked Jamie Foxx in the helmet on one of the screens, and it wasn't in the script. And so Jamie Foxx was kind of just like, did this guy just hit me? And kind of knocked his line out his head. Went through it again, did the same thing. He said, bro, don't hit me no more. And LL Cool, like, I'm just in my role. I'm in my role. Let me do my thing. And he said, okay. And on the next go around, Jamie Foxx didn't get to his line. He just punched him in his face. And they had to break it up. And so it was just like, I just liked it because it was so real, it was so raw, and like a lot of that stuff is true. You have a lot of testosterone around the locker room. It was pretty dope. It was like a lot of hot and cold.
Yeah,
it was like hot and cold, wasn't it?
It was. I know. Steamin' Willie Beeman, as Rack says on the YouTube chat thread.
He got the women.
Yeah.
Well, he got the women what?
Steaming, Willie Beeman.
Screaming. He got the lady. He got the lady screaming. Anyway, you know who can have your? You know who else can have your lady screaming? Northwestern Tech.
Please land this plane, Joyce. I want to see you land this plane.
Northwestern Tech. Why? Can't have them screaming because when it's hot outside, if it's cold, you can go in there. She's screaming at you. It's too hot in the house. You can go in there. You can call Northwestern Tech, and they can show you how to turn on that air conditioning. Go to northwesterntech.edu to learn more today. Drake Bill, Neil Rule, D-Mac, and this is Big D Energy.
Big D. Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell in the house. Sawyer, Sam, Fish. We're squad deep up in here today. Happy to have you all with us. Everyone likes that movie discussion.
Football is the devil.
Yeah,
Waterboy is good. Waterboy is good. Then Lawrence Taylor in that was hilarious. Brings me to my next topic, kids. Don't do drugs.
Yeah. Lawrence Taylor, low-key, like, he owns a lot of the stuff, and he does it low-key. It's really kind of cool how he does all that.
He was around the 80s, near those Mets.
In New York.
In New York, right?
It was the culture of the city at the time.
Blame it on the Mets. Because we know, if you've seen the documentary, Neil, what is it? 84 Mets?
84 Mets. It's a three-sentence documentary.
Mets.
86 Mets, yeah. It's a three-sentence documentary. Pretty good baseball team. Did a lot of coke. Won the World Series.
Lawrence Taylor was a Giant, so technically those guys got him in trouble.
I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna have a day. We're gonna have a day where we're gonna have people's favorite sports movies, and we're gonna have, because they said they was mad at you because you left out Major League.
Well, originally I thought it was like a football movie discussion. Yeah, we'll do that. Don't worry. The springtime into the summer, That reeks of your favorite sports movie and all that stuff. Sawyer's nodding his head in there. He knows. Okay. And Sawyer's nodding his head, not shaking his head. There's a difference, Sawyer. That works me up when people do that.
They throwing out Happy Gilmore quotes. The price is wrong.
Bob Barker.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we'll get into all that. Certainly we will. I did want to have this discussion because I'm curious to see where you guys are at right now, and really especially Joik. I think I know where he's going to go with this. The NFL MVP. If you jumped on my bookie right now, and you were going to get down on it, where would you guys be with the NFL MVP as we sit here today?
Right now.
Today.
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
It's pretty much a two-horse race.
If we talk about the most valuable person.
The most valuable player.
If we talk about the most valuable person on the team, most valuable player on the team, you have to give it to Aaron Rodgers.
And for those of you watching right now on YouTube, you got Tom Brady at 4,400 yards, 38 touchdowns, 11 picks, 10-4 record. Aaron Rodgers, about 3,600 yards, 33 touchdowns, 4 picks. Completion percentage right about the same. Packers are 11-2. Buccaneers are 10-4. And
I'm going to tell you why, though.
I figured that was the way you were going to go.
And I'm going that way because of this. If you look at what he's done, he's the most valuable player, but on that team, he's the most valuable person. Like, when he leaves that, when he's not at quarterback, that team is totally different. It's a totally different team. It's almost as if they don't have a shot. It's, and I would hear guys talk about when you have that quarterback that can always have you in position to win the games. I've spoken about it. I've talked about it. Tom Brady is one of those guys that when you have him at quarterback, his defense is going to play a little bit better, a little bit harder. Aaron Rodgers is the same way. He's always going to have his team in a position to win the game. And right now, he's playing at a high level. He doesn't have as many passing yards, but his record speaks volume. And
well, D-Mac, because it was a clunker by Tom Brady, and he'd never been shut out before. The Saints, though, have the Bucs number, kind of the way that Jared Goff has the Cardinals number. The Saints, when they play the Bucs, man, it's tough sledding.
It usually
for them.
seems that there's one team like that, and then you mentioned the Bucs and the Patriots, or the Packers. The Bucs and the Packers, who we think might have a chance to play again in the conference finals and stuff like this. But I got to agree with Jordan. I give Aaron Rodgers a nod. And at 11-2, because it still seems like they're not right. But the whole thing, too, is I listened to Matt LaFleur, their head coach, talk about Aaron Rodgers with such reverence as a leader in the dressing room with things you don't see. And you can say Aaron Rodgers for what he is. But the Green Bay Packers beat to his drum beat.
This is what
he's a drummer, and they go, and that's apparent to me. Now with Tom Brady, he's losing everybody. So now my question to you is, when you don't have your targets, you don't have all the all-stars, and you don't have all the weapons, does that show that you're a better player? Because that seems that what, other than Devontae Adams in and out, that's the stalwart for Rodgers.
No, and there is a degree to that, and we've seen Aaron Rodgers do that before, and he's one of the he's one of the great players in the NFL right now. My only knock on him is the repeated lack of ability to win the big game, especially when the deck's stacked in your favor. When you're playing at home, when you have the NFC Championship game at home, that's an all or nothing proposition.
So he's only judged by the championship. If he gets to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
No, because that's how good he is.
Because we can always find something wrong with a guy. We can always, with Stafford, he can never get there. With Rodgers, he can never win it.
So my question,
and so we keep finding things about guys. Tom Brady's a guy who, he might not have the best season going through the regular season, but they're going to have a winning record. He's going to play well, and then he's going to make the run. He'll figure out how to win in the playoffs, and he's going to win the big game. All right, and that's why we consider him the GOAT, right?
Doesn't it seem like,
and that's the difference.
This year's MVP. My question to you is: does Jonathan Taylor have a shot to win MVP this year? Because if this is the stats of the quarterbacks, and usually Rodgers or them's at 5,000 yards, Mahomes is out there, they run away with it looking at the stat line before even a running back is considered.
If he was going to win it, this would be the year to win it, but I don't see him being
okay. If he was going to win it, this would be the year to win it, but he's not going to win it.
I'm not going to say he's not going to win it. I'm going to say that he has an opportunity to win it because of the turmoil that Aaron Rodgers went through with the COVID incident. and that'd be his biggest shot to win this year, and be the biggest argument for him. Because right now, if I had to choose, it'll be Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Now, if Tom Brady was above Aaron Rodgers, I would say Tom Brady would get it because it's Tom Brady, and Tom Brady and JT is not going to beat Tom Brady.
But that's the thing too, and you know this, Joy.
Right.
The media's bitter about that COVID thing with Aaron Rodgers because he threw a curveball by him.
Yeah, and it's not his fault they didn't ask the right questions.
Absolutely,
not his fault. They should ask the right question. And so what can happen is JT can win it barely because of
spite.
Because of spite, basically, right? And so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But if you sit here and we say the most valuable player right now in the NFL is hands down Aaron Rodgers.
What do you say, Neil?
At this point, right now, today,
I agree with you, John.
And I can't kill you. Like, I can't die on that hill. I think when the dust settles, I think it's going to be Tom Brady.
No, you said today though. No.
Yeah, no. I know.
Okay.
I think if you're building the case right now today, I think I would have to side towards Aaron Rodgers too. But I think when this is all over, I think it is going to be Tom Brady. And here's why. Because you look at Godwin, Evans being out, but old Antonio Brown's coming back to save everyone. And I think he will. I think AB is going to be a monster coming down this stretch here. I think you'll see him in that 100-yard vicinity every single week. And you know what I love about it? Here's what I love, and here's what I love about pro sports, which is like the opposite of the NCAA. Bruce Arians got in front of that microphone and said, we're bringing Antonio Brown back because it's a football decision. I love that out of Bruce Arians because we got to win.
But it's the same thing.
He basically said, "Here's my interpretation of it."
He was out 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, well, he got suspended for faking the vaccination card. So my interpretation of that is, look, I know he's a clown.
Yep.
I know he does clown stuff. But he's still elite, and we got to win.
But I need him.
And it's a football decision
now, especially because before going into the last game, the question was after the suspension, would he be released? Because of the fake card and everything like that. And Bruce Arians said, absolutely not. And then Evans goes down, Fournette goes down, Godwin's gone.
Yeah, we bringing him back.
Yeah. Are you sure that number's not 150?
He's going to ball out,
He's going to
man.
ball out. You know he's going to ball out. Who they got next game? Who they have next?
Let me see right now.
Let me see. Yeah, I got the betting lines pulled up here on mybookie.ag. They're at Carolina. Buccaneers are a 10.5-point favorite. So, it's...
And it's crazy because we say when it's all done and settled, I don't know. I don't know who's going to get the MVP because I don't see Green Bay losing another game for the rest of the season. They're not going to split with... they're not going to get wiped by the Vikings. They're going to split the Vikings, so they're going to win that game. They have the Browns and they have the Lions.
Yeah,
I don't see them losing another game this year, right? And then going into the playoff, they might have a first week bye. And come back and play whoever that second week. So I don't see them losing, and I don't see Tom Brady catching him as far as being the MVP. I don't see him.
Yeah, well, and again, I think the stage is set for it to come down to be what it was last year, where Tampa's going to have to go to Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers is going to have to slay Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Like that's it. And he couldn't do it last year. He's going to do it. You think so? I can't kill you on that.
Yeah, I think this might be the year he's going to do it. I'm being totally honest. I think this might be the year where, he came in, he had all the off-season stuff going on, and for him, for him to go through everything he went through with the team and coming into training camp late and coming off the private jet and then them losing that first game to New Orleans and them coming back and going on that streak, and now they're 11-2. And people say, oh, okay, Aaron Rodgers, he's done. He won't bounce back after that. After one loss, the great Aaron Rodgers, he won't bounce back and come back and go on that streak and now lead his team to 11-2 with, and then also go through turmoil within the season. Having the foot injury, going through the COVID mishap with the media, and then still staying focused enough to lead his team. Come on, MVP, man. This MVP. all the distractions and still out here winning games.
No, he is, and again, I can't die on that hill. It is a good discussion, though. Not as good as a discussion. This is a story from ESPN.com where Bruce Arians was asked about the Antonio Brown situation and how many chances is he owed because of his disciplinary history. He said, "I could give a blank what people think. The only thing I care about is this football team and what's best for us." I love it, D-Man.
Mm-hmm. No, you gotta love it. It's the same thing.
Because he's being open about it.
He's open about
it.
You don't
That's
get
all
that.
I'm asking
You don't
for.
get that in the league. They try to cover it up and try to, we're looking at this, we're looking at that. No, listen, he gonna help us win, and when he's not able to help us win, we'll let him go.
And I'll tell you this, him looking at his championship ring from last year when he did that gives him that much more confidence to be able to do that. But that's who Bruce Arians is. And guys, let's be honest, we like simple things. Do you know we got football tonight too? Well, if you wanted to come in to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men tonight while the games are going on, because they're open between 10 and 8, 7 days a week, you can sit in front of a mirror and get your hair cut and watch TV at the same time. Yes, walk in, sign in, sit down. Before you know it, you're handsome and clean. Get the Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Neil Rule, Joint Belt, D-Mac, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Be right back.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Opinions are like ear holes, and we're putting ours in yours.
Well, that's not winning, Joy.
It's Woodward Sports.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule, Joy Bell, D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house. Just another reminder, Golden Grizzlies, Michigan State at Little Caesars Arena tonight. Tickets becoming very scarce. You want to go 313presents.com. I'll be on the play-by-play call on TV20 and ESPN Plus with my broadcast partner Rex Walters, who was on the show yesterday. A lot of fun catching up with Rex. He was surprised. I talked with him because I left here and went to practice down at Little Caesars Arena yesterday.
Practice?
He was surprised by the number of people that kind of like remembered him and remembered his play style and stuff like that. People I hear on our YouTube chat there, they were on old Rex, man.
Listen, they don't mess around here in Big D Energy and that fan. You better behave yourself in there, but they know their stuff.
No, they certainly do. Big opportunity for Oakland. Oakland looking to break through and finally beat Michigan State. And again, I said it earlier, I'll apologize in advance to everyone watching. It is an Oakland home game. So, they're just playing at Little Caesars Arena. So we'll be the Oakland game production, our PA announcer, our television announcers. I am compensated by Oakland University, ... So just save the tweets and stuff like that. But Sawyer wants to see the tweets anyway, though, because he wants to put them on the show tomorrow. So it is an Oakland production and everything like that. So keep that. You said you're trying to pull up on it tonight, D-Mac? You might slide through?
I might be pulling up on there. I know that spot down there. I know which door to get into and stuff like this. So
You know it well.
Yeah.
No.
Joink, you said you might be sliding.
I don't know that one
through.
just as well. I'm still finding the hiding spots, Joink. I think that place is a lot bigger than LCA.
Yeah. Joink, you said you might be sliding through too, huh?
You said Joe Louis is a lot bigger than LCA?
No, LCA is a lot bigger than Joe Louis.
Oh, yeah.
There's there's hiding spot upon hiding spot. I might have missed opening face-off a few times, just, having a nap before the game in one of those rooms.
It is. I enjoy it. I'll be there tonight. I'm going to come.
Oh, you're rolling out?
Yeah, I'm going to come.
Okay.
I'm going to come.
Let's go, man.
I'm going to come down there. I'm going to hop on. I'm going to call out the players. I'm going to, be the play-by-play.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to be the play-by-play.
We got to get Joik up. Maybe
I'll be the color analyst, though.
When we come back from a commercial break, I'll pull Joik up on the camera. We probably be eating pizza or something, huh?
Well, okay. I probably will be eating pizza.
Or the smothered barbacoa nachos. Phenomenal down there. But, hey, Neil, even guys, I'll give you a caveat. You might want to tune in if you can't show up down there. But tune in on ESPN because Neil said he's been polishing up on a lot of those Neil Rule, Golden Rule catchphrases. So Be prepared. He was throwing a few around earlier, dude. I was like, damn, those are salty.
Yeah, we got him ready to go. Rack wants to know, D-Mac, what door and what time do I meet you there? Oh, and look, Sawyer came through with it. Bud Bowl, some Bud Bowl footage on our YouTube chat thread. How great was a Bud Bowl? And look, here it is, goal to go. They bring in the freezer, the 40-ounce, the 32-ounce, the jumbo package in the backfield. You remember
how old that is for the labels.
Oh my God.
They did the okey doke and gave it to the little guy, and he jumped over and got the touchdown. So Bud Light was winning 34-30 at that point in the game. And then Bud Bowl 2 with the snow going on. This is
snowblowers out there, everything.
Absolutely, you can see the bottle's breath and everything like that. This was great. Great marketing.
Oh, absolutely great marketing. Because you sometimes, depending on what game, you're more into the commercials.
No, you certainly were. And Budweiser, they were onto something.
Oh, is that the Leon Lett one? The slide, he fumbled it?
They were onto something with that. And there was something great, too, about drinking beer back in the day, Sawyer, out of a 40-ounce bottle. Can you confirm?
As opposed to Edward, is it different than today? Why?
What's that?
Is it different than drinking out of a 40 today?
I think just like when you're younger and you know what I'm saying, like it's a different time in your life.
The brown bag.
Yeah, we did the whole deal where we bought at a party. We bought strictly 40s. We went to the party store and bought 200 40s and put them in the fridge, like the Dr. Dre video.
Yeah.
And just lined them up, and that's all we. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah.
You have a 40 party, Sawyer, back in the day?
We do like Edward 40 hands.
Edward 40 hands?
Heard of that? There's Sidewalk Slammers. That's a really good one, too.
Sidewalk Slammers. Oh.
What's that?
I don't know. No idea what that is.
You take a 40, then you drink like the 40 halfway down, and then you fill the rest up with a 4 Loco. And
what is the matter with you guys these days?
Oh, man, I missed out on that.
Yeah.
No, you didn't miss out on 4 Loco.
You didn't really miss out on much, but it's a killer.
David Mentier says Edward 40 hands was fun. You ever do the Edward 40 hands, D-Mac?
2 40s?
Yeah, and you tape them to your hands, and you can't go to the bathroom until you finish your 40s.
Easy. Easy. No, I missed out on all these games, man.
What? What are y'all doing here? No, we never did any of these games.
Vinny Bono says it was just easier with 40s. And Vinny, that's what I go back to, too. It was just easier. It saved you from having to open another one. Yeah, absolutely. And people would say, well, they get warm. Not if you do it right.
Yeah, not if you're quick.
What do you have? Hey, so hold up. So if you wanted to go to my bookie tonight, right?
And
you want to bet on this game, who you putting your money on?
I work for the NCAA, Joik.
I said no. I said if. It was hypothetical.
What's the line?
I saw it open, and this is for informational purposes only. I saw Michigan State opened up as an 11-point favorite. They've been bet down to a 10-point favorite. Over under 141, been bet up to 143.
Gold Grizz.
So, again, that's for informational purposes only.
Double dig.
Alex Mayer says go green. Of course he does.
I'll bet the over. I'll bet the over.
We're going to see.
You want to put eggs on it?
We're going to see.
You want to put eggs on it?
Can't wager on it, Joik. Yeah.
Huh?
Can't wager on it, Joik.
Oh, you can't put eggs on it?
No, that's of monetary value.
Look at you trying to get him on a sticker.
Yeah,
Next thing
I know, man.
you're going to check
Compliance
for his
is watching
visa.
this
Hey,
shit.
are you
We've had compliance on this show
are you
before.
American?
Yeah.
I am.
Okay, so you're not a student visa?
No, I'm. Yeah.
Okay, he's good.
He's
trying
to get you in something.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure you keep making sure you're on your tippy toes. That's all.
Detroit Dabber, a couple 40s of Mickey or Steel Reserve back in the frat house, and a whole economic ton of Tylenol too for the next day.
Oh, I thought you were going to say toilet paper.
No. No, so it's funny. So since we're on NCAA, did you see the college football breakdown of the biggest upsets?
Yeah, they had that out there on Twitter. I know College Football on Fox put something out there. The biggest football upsets of the season.
Do you agree with these?
Yeah, Kansas winning a game, period, is a huge upset. I don't think Cincinnati was a big upset.
No, I don't agree with this. I don't agree. Like
Texas A&M beating Alabama was
that game right there, and I'll put the Michigan Ohio State game on there. But every other game,
I don't think the Michigan Ohio State.
But we have like 2 or 3 other games that were bigger than this, like Purdue beating MSU.
No, that wasn't.
Purdue
was like a 3-point underdog, man. That
MSU was ranked, and Purdue was an unranked team.
Right, but Purdue was at home, and they were a 3-point underdog, Joik.
That's still an upset.
No, that's basically a 50-50
Oregon
game.
beating Ohio State at Ohio State.
They were I think, like an 8-point under. Like, it wasn't huge. That's like Michigan, where they closed like a 6.5, 7-point underdog. You know, that wasn't. It was in the manner they did it was an upset, but you know, just in totality, Kansas winning at Texas is unbelievable. That's for people that don't know how bad Kansas is at football. Pull up those records the last couple of years. It's incredible that they won at Texas, and it also makes me laugh at Texas a little more. I don't think Cincinnati
are bad. I mean, they have the longest losing streak since the 1950s. So they haven't been playing good football as of late either. That's why I wouldn't call that a big upset, because they're not playing good either right now. It's just Rick saying it's an upset because of Texas history.
No, it's an upset because of Kansas history. Like, if you pull up Kansas's record in football, 1-10, 0-11, losing to FBS teams, they had no shot in that game. Then they almost beat Oklahoma too for some reason. You know, they popped up. I just thought that, you know, a couple of those upsets that they had ranked on there, I don't know that I would agree with that. Colt 45 getting a lot of love in the YouTube chat thread as well. Detroit Dabber. Then Mickey's came out with a shatterproof bottle, but it was just plastic.
Those little Mickey's bottles were cool.
Oh my God, plastic. Yeah. Billy D. Williams getting his stuff. Mike G, is Mark Mangino still around? No, he's not, which is the reason Kansas is 0-10 every year. But that was big, and I would say the Texas A&M one was a 19-point underdog. Just going off the point spreads, I mean that was a pretty incredible win. Kansas is bad though, but the Purdue thing, that was a 50-50 game, Joy.
Which game?
Purdue, Michigan State. People knew. People knew Michigan State was not going to win.
I wouldn't say that, because MSU coming off that big win against Michigan. You know, both 7-0 going to that game, and then MSU being 8-0 going to an unranked team house. I don't care who you are. That's an upset. That's an upset.
Slight upset.
It's not a slight upset.
Purdue beat Iowa at Iowa, number 2 team in the country, right?
Even you have come out and say this is the worst number 2 team in NCAA history.
Absolutely.
That you said, right? And so I'm going to count that game. You saw what Michigan did to Iowa.
Right. I saw what Purdue did to Iowa.
42-3. And you saw what Purdue did to Iowa.
Yeah.
Right. And so we look at this game. MSU losing to Purdue was a bigger upset to me than some of those games they had up there. Bring that list back up one time, Sawyer. I mean, I'm just looking at it like, no. I will put Purdue being MSU above that. Let me see. Above that Oklahoma and Oklahoma State game. I'll put it above that. It's 2 ranked teams losing to each other.
Yeah, but that point spread was about the same too. Yeah. I mean, that's what they're basing some of that stuff off of too. It's point spread, just the unlikelihood that it would happen. Robert Closia says, we did Coors Light 40s after chapter meetings. It doesn't say 80s and 90s. I don't know what does. So, yeah, no, again, we're just kind of reminiscing about the good old days. When we come back, more COVID news out of the NFL, certainly. And we want to do the What If I Told You college football edition, because it is good now that the season's over, you know, as far as the regular season goes, to look back. And just how far-fetched some of this stuff was. We'll discuss when we come back. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
No off-season for us. We're talking sports. 365. Detroit Sports Network. Woodward Sports.
Back at it here, coming down the stretch. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell in the house. Mike in our YouTube chat thread Anybody used to pound those Zimas before heading off to the club or to the bars.
Zima and Chambord gives you a little great pop taste. We used to slam that stuff.
Juice's Ghost. I like when Joy gives Neil Gruff over the Big Ten. I don't know. I just don't think it was that big of an upset. They were a 3-point favorite. A lot of people saw that one coming. So, Mike, I would ask you about the Zima thing. Were you the kind that pumped the Jolly Rancher into the Zima back in the day? Remember that bit?
No, I didn't. We didn't stick around long enough.
The old Jolly Rancher into the Zima.
Those, man.
That was a great bit. As we said, college football season is in the bowl season right now, which is cool. It's one of my favorite times of the year. We got games going today, this afternoon. What's better than a college football game at 3:30 in the afternoon? I don't care who's playing. And today, the Potato Bowl in Boise, Wyoming and Kent State.
Potatoes.
Kent State a 3.5-point underdog, by the way. That will be followed up by the Frisco Bowl, San Diego State, Texas, San Antonio. That's actually a pretty good matchup. San Diego State's been a ranked team.
That's one of your teams.
Yeah, they've been a ranked team most of the year.
Do you like them? Who do you like there?
I do, actually. Texas, San Antonio, this is a big game for them, believe it or not, because Texas, San Antonio spent a lot of time in the season ranked this year. So I think you have to validate that, right, at some time,
Yeah.
and you validate that with winning a bowl game over San Diego State.
You just sold me on turning that one on. Like, just because you expect a good game there
I do.
or whatever.
I do. I think that's one of the better low-key bowl matchups out there. But, speaking of college football, we came across this on Twitter, and I think it's really good. The What If I Told You College Football Edition. And this is a very, very cool list of what if I told you these things before the season started.
That's pretty cool.
It is a good list. So, let's take a look at that. What if I told you college football edition? And for those of you watching on the YouTube chat thread, we do have it pulled up on the channel. But taking a look at some of these, what if I told you 25 ranked teams would lose in the first 4 weeks of the season? Remember that madness? You remember that madness with the beginning of the season where everybody kept losing?
Wasn't that but did it also not dictate the season we were going to have, or and you knew it all throughout, because this college football season, either from the draft prospects, the quarterback prospects, whatever, this was different right out of the get-go. Just like the season's changed, there's stuff like that. So
what about Joik? Would you have believed me if I'd have told you Clemson, Ohio State, and Oklahoma wouldn't make it to the conference championship game, and none of those would make the college football playoff? Would you have believed that?
Not all of that. But Ohio State not winning the conference this year, I would have said, I think Michigan's got this one this year.
Yeah, but all those teams, I certainly
but all
would have
those
done
teams,
that.
though, no. Losing the 25 or the top rank, Michigan going from unranked to being number 2, I didn't see that either.
So you didn't see them beating Ohio State, winning the Big Ten, and making the college football playoff. So obviously, no, you wouldn't have seen that.
I saw them beating Ohio State this year. So, when you beat Ohio State, then, winning the conference usually comes with that.
not before the season.
Yeah.
Not until I saw what they were building and listened to the things out. But I could see how Joint was to benefit him, because he'd been talking about what he'd been hearing all off season and how it was different. So, I'll back him on that one. I didn't see it, though.
How about this one? Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Oregon, USC, Florida, Washington, TCU, LSU, and Virginia Tech all would have head coaching vacancies.
Wow. I didn't know where you were going with that one because I didn't read it, but wow. That's some big program.
That's big time right there, man.
And, okay, so...
But that follows up to what you said about how crazy it was going to be.
And then right? So then that goes back to show you where MSU jumped in or whatever. So it'll be interesting, back of the mind, after it all plays out, what the total number of dollars it was to retain the new head coaches for all these programs.
Massive number.
Billions, right?
Jen Reed 77, Boone's Farm Strawberry Wine. Why did we like this? Because it tasted good, Jen Reed. Let's be honest about it. That's why we liked it. Lincoln Riley would leave Oklahoma for USC, and Heisman favorite Spencer Rattler would transfer from Oklahoma. Who saw that on day one of the college football season?
No, we didn't see that.
You know the best part of Spencer Rattler this year? His logo.
It was pretty sweet.
It was sweet. You gotta admit.
It was pretty sweet. Brian Kelly would leave Notre Dame for LSU. Mario Cristobal would leave Oregon for Miami.
And for people to know, can you pull up, if you can find it though, Sawyer, find that logo? Because it was pretty dope logo for people to see it. But what did you say? Say it again.
Brian Kelly would leave Notre Dame for LSU. Mario Cristobal would leave Oregon for Miami.
You know
on
what,
day
though?
one, dude, you never would have saw.
You know what? I would have never saw Brian Kelly leaving Notre Dame for LSU. Him leaving Notre Dame, I could believe.
That's fair.
Well, I think it wasn't. It's like, well, Ed Orgeron just won national championship a few years ago. He won't be gone at LSU. But like, what's going to go on? How bad are they going to implode for Kelly to leave? You know, no way.
Right. And as it turns out, the Orgeron stuff was a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, too, with the way he was treating the people.
But when you're going into this, we're talking before the season, you're looking at it, you don't know that. It's like he just won, and even if they do have a losing season or something like that, they're not going to get rid of the coach.
Yeah. Texas would have its longest losing streak since 1956 and miss a bowl game. We
when
could
they
see
lost
that.
to Kansas, we could see it, but no, that, and there's a schmozzle program.
Yeah, I was told they were back.
I was told them in Nebraska were back, but maybe they should get together.
Maybe they should get together and go back to the Big 8.
That's sad.
It is sad.
I was a big Texas fan.
Well, dude, and you look at it too, Joik, like every financial advantage they have, from the budget to the money they spend to all of it, the name brand recognition, the facilities. They can't go to a bowl game when you're guaranteed 6 wins on a schedule. I guess unless you're Texas, you're not guaranteed 6 games. And then finally, Cincinnati would go undefeated and make the playoff. And I think that's a half question, D-Mac, because I think people could see them going undefeated, but they thought there was no way in hell they were going to let them in the playoff.
This guy right here. That's what I would say. Them going undefeated and sitting on that 5, hanging their pole
No way
on
they're
the
letting them
island,
in.
and they weren't in. That's why I said, wow, are they going to really put them out? Right? But things played out. Oklahoma State lost, and everything played out for them to be in. And I just, for the lack of a better term, balls of the committee to put them in there.
Yeah, I just think that there was a lack of options at that point.
Well, I think that
their only other choice was Notre Dame, and they beat them.
Well, right. Here's the thing. Just like we were talking about Jonathan Taylor winning the MVP out of spite for Aaron Rodgers, this was sort of the way that Cincinnati got in because there was no better choice in sort of that way.
Yeah, it is.
You know what, though? But, isn't this a great opportunity for the NFL to show, you know what, we could be the bigger person. You got us. You deserve it. Here go the MVP. Or, you think it's going to be, oh, screw you. Jonathan Taylor, you got it.
Well, I know how it's interesting you're like this because I figured you would take up for the running back. I figured you would be all team
he's so
Jonathan
buried
Taylor.
down that he knows the running back get no respect, that it's never that thing, so it's not even a mountain he's trying to climb.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
What out of all of those, though, Neil, would you say is the most mind-blowing or whatever? I think, to me, the college coaches. All those programs.
Yeah, that is
because
a lot.
There's not, like, name those programs again. Do you have it up?
Yeah, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Oregon, USC, Florida, Washington, TCU, LSU, and Virginia Tech.
So, I mean, I might take TCU and
could see
Tech
3
out
of
there,
them.
and I still got there's nine, and 7 of them are like prestigious coaching jobs. Wow, that just.
Well, you wouldn't see, because in order to do that, you would have to assume that most of these programs have imploded.
Right.
Notre Dame was on the fringe of making the playoff. They didn't implode.
But remember, you go down there and you look at the coaches preseason. How many were on the hot seat, so to speak? 1, maybe 2. Like, it wasn't like the hot seat. It was like they got all fired up right there and thrown in the frying pan, and boom.
Well, you know what it is too. Miami finally turned that corner, and I've always been like a U fan from back in the day and all that kind of stuff. They finally turned that corner, D-Mac, and I know that you've heard Miami's back and everything like that, and they haven't been. Here's why: Miami Health and their affiliation agreements with the healthcare company down there, they're dipping into that now. That's why Mario Cristobal's there. That it's the philosophy has changed. And I always talked about it for a very long time, and I think Michigan suffered from this to a degree, where I won't say the academic side, but there wasn't a full buy-in from the surrounding community. That's the best way I can put it.
And
to
you
where
need
there
that.
is at Alabama and
Right.
LSU, where it's all hands on deck. It's no stone unturned. It's any kind of dollar we can find to do it. Miami has made the choice now to dip into it. And once you choose it, there's no going back.
Well, here's the thing, because they tried to do it their own way, right, with 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and try to do it their way. And to be where they want to be as that Miami Hurricanes program from when we grew up, right? When we grew up in the 80s, when they were like the Jimmy Johnson and the who's who's, I think that they got caught, you know, on their lore or whatever, being the Hurricanes.
Well, here, what it was with them is you have Jimmy Johnson, you know, the president requests to meet with him. He says, no, what for? I'm the football coach. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that war on the people in power. Again, it wasn't a football thing. It was a power thing.
Right.
Like everywhere else, every other
follow
time.
the money, follow the power, follow the win and stuff like this. But that really changes, like you said, the narrative. And so you would expect that this puts Miami back fighting towards that big picture against those elite teams.
Because I think from a recruiting perspective, from everything that's needed to swim in those waters again, and you know what I mean when I say everything that's needed, that is going to be back there from what it looks like. There's a $400 million fund that Miami's going to be dipping into now. It's different now.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely different.
And you know what? Miami dipping into all that money, wouldn't it be nice to be here? Because Guardian Alarm, you know they get it. The good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm is state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 monitoring. Guardian Alarm has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, detect smoke in case it's on fire, that deadly silent killer carbon monoxide. Heck, you can even open, unlock, lock, do whatever you need for guests. But you need to call the number to be part of the team. So here we go. It's 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
This is a Taco Tuesday, boys. We got to give it for everybody who's hungry. 1-800.
Stay out.
Get out of my house.
Fish, where are you? Oh my gosh, somebody got Fish. I gotta go see where he's at anyway. Stay out of Fish's house. Stay out of the fishbowl. Anyways, give Guardian Alarm 1-800 stay out a call today. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Big D Energy.
Big D.
George Bell, Neil Rule, D Mac, Woodward Sports Network, back with a special guest.
Thank you, Detroit. Because of your generous donations, this year's Stuff a Studio was a massive success. With the help from our friends at Meyer, Guardian Alarm, and people like you, we were able to send a massive U-Haul filled with toys to Mott Children's Hospital.
I thought it was pretty cool, but more importantly, my daughter had surgery at Mott back in about 2005 for brain surgery. They did a miraculous job for her. As a matter of fact, she's graduated from Michigan State on Saturday.
Oh,
You could never
hey,
tell
go green, right?
Thank you. And we really want to thank you. I know we're standing in front of this very large building, but when you look up, this building is full right now with a lot of sick kids that are going to be here through the holidays. And this team is amazing to make sure that they can at least smile during the holidays, and what you guys have done for us, we'll make sure that we're bringing that magic into their hospital room. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network's final segment of the show. And I don't know if you guys saw on social media the Dylan Larkin video when he was in warm-ups the other day, when he accidentally knocked over a fan's beer and then, arranged for the replacement of the beer. It's a clip that's been going around. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to go ahead and check that out. Well, the fan whose beer was knocked over happens to join us right now here on Big D Energy, D-Mac.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome, Madge Abdenauer, the dining room manager at Walnut Creek. How you doing, buddy? Now,
I'm doing well. How are you?
Thank you for joining us. And a quick backstory, because Walnut Creek, our social lead here, Mr. Nick Leach, who's the golf pro over there. So it's a small world family. And I thought, you know what, we might as well go to the source. I don't think Dylan did it on purpose, but Neil's got the most pressing question that America wants to know. I'm going to let him ask.
Imagine, we've been talking about, beer and stuff like that here today. So Madge, my question to you is, what kind of beer was in the cup? Critical question.
It was a Founders All-Day IPA.
Oh, nice.
Oh, there he is.
That's right up your wheelhouse, too.
There he is.
Now, I noticed your reaction, right, when he initially hit the glass and it spilled, and was it your wife, I'm assuming, was next to you, and you both were like, oh, it's okay, and stuff like that. Did you get spilt on? Did one of you wear it more than the other?
Well, I pretty much wore it all. It's
Attaboy.
all over my left side of my leg, and my shoes were completely soaked. So
what was your initial reaction? Like, because the way you reacted was like, oh, man, like you almost thought it could happen.
Well, I mean, you know, I know the rules as far as not setting your beer on the ledge, but, you know, being that it was during warm-ups, I thought it would be okay. I was pretty much just in the middle of, you know, blowing up those thunder sticks for my wife, and so I wasn't really like paying attention. My head was quite like down, but then all of a sudden, like, I looked up and it was just like beer all over me. So I pretty much just laughed it off. I mean, I was not mad at all about it. I thought it was actually pretty hilarious.
So we're watching the video here. I see D-Boss, and I tweeted back out, taught the kid everything he knows. Well, maybe it was Joey Kosher that taught him how to respect the beer like this. But I was more surprised that Rick Zuber, equipment manager, had $20 on him. Now, the question that I wanted to know, because we see in the video that Zuby came over, did he replace the beer, give you the $20 and keep the change, buy you both beers? How did the compensation, and then did Dylan give you a nod or a high five or a wave after that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, honestly, it was I was kind of caught off guard because when Zuby came down, he was like, hey, are you the guy that, you know, had the beer spilled on you? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, you know, Dylan feels really horrible about the situation, so he wanted to buy you a beer. So, you know, here's, you know, and he handed me the money, and I, you know, my first reaction was like, oh, no, that's totally fine. Like, you know, I can't take his money. He's like, no, he won't take no for an answer. Please, you know, it's on us. So I never really went and bought the beer because I figured, you know what, I'm just going to hold on to this money. Maybe it'll bring us luck through the game. And during intermission, a friend of mine, I met up with a friend of mine, he actually bought us a beer. So it kind of like made up for everything. But my, you know, the fans behind us that were like, you know, saw the situation that was going on were kind of laughing it off, like, oh, like, do you know him? And my wife kind of was like, oh yeah, we're best friends now. So
it's true.
It was pretty funny. So
well, Maj, you brought this up, and Vinny Bono on our YouTube chat thread, he's, you know, they're pretty worked up about it. They're saying that's a rookie move, leaving the beer. There's a beer on the ledge, as you said, though. You acknowledge that, so I'm not going to kill you on that one.
No, I acknowledged it. I mean, you know, you know, it's not very often that you get the opportunity to sit on the glass, you know, in the front row. So I do know the rules, but like I said before, you know, I figured it would be all right during warm-ups. I would have never thought that one of the players would just run into the boards like that. But you know, that's on me. You know, it's my fault. But in the long run, it became a big social media sensation. So I think that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. So real quick, so with that money that, you know, gave us luck throughout the game, you held on to it because you thought it might bring us luck. Are you still holding on to it? Did you spend it yet? Or are you going to keep it in, like get it framed?
Get it signed.
I'm still holding on. It's still in my wallet, so just hanging on to it.
So your plans is just to hold on to it. You don't have any plans. You're just going to keep it there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's you know, there's lots of $20 bills out there, but I thought, you know, maybe this one will be special, and hopefully it'll bring the Wings the rest of the season, and, you know, like some wins.
Here we go. There you have it.
Well, Madge, you know what? I know Dylan, and you know what? Keep that bill, and I'm sure we can get that signed for you, framed it, and he'll love the story. But thanks for joining us here on Big D Energy, and look forward to seeing you out at Walnut Creek. Madge Abdenauer, the beer spilled all in his shoe.
I absolutely appreciate him coming on. That certainly was a lot of fun. But hey, good pull, D-Mac.
Thanks. Hey, Sawyer, can you cut that up so we can throw that out on the Twitter and just have a follow-up, because that's what we do here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network of the people.
Yeah, no question about that. So that about wraps things up here today for Big D Energy on a Tuesday. LCA tonight, Oakland, Michigan State. Thank you.
Give me one.
Gang.
Give me one that you're going with. Give me one of the calls they might hear tonight.
Oh, I mean,
Rejected.
Oh, yeah. Sends it back like an undercooked steak.
Like an undercooked steak. We'll see you tomorrow, Big D Energy. Deuces.
Well, see you later.
It's now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty, former Lion Joik Bell, and the golden voice of Neil Rule. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?